Let me introduce our guest today. She's a very young artist, illustrator, and designer. An urban sketcher, she loves to travel, explore new cultures. She also has written, illustrated, and published her own book for children called Aji and Millie Into the Forest. Please welcome Parinitha Konanur. Welcome, Parinitha. We are so pleased to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sona.
So, how are you?
I'm good. Quarantine is crazy for everybody.
Yeah. So, how's it over there? You're in Bangalore.
Hot and lot of work.
So, shall we start today's session
Yeah,
with uh, can you please tell us a bit about yourself as an independent artist and illustrator? Can you please walk us through your journey?
sure. I actually studied art history and I did photography first and then I did design for a long time. After that, I got into illustration for a few years now. And it's a hectic job, illustrator's life.
So, how is it like? Is it like struggling or what is it?
Not really in that sense because I do a variety of things. So there is something or the other that comes my way. I do wall art, I do design, everything is mixed in my life right now. So illustration as such, I get book work, working for books and branding and a lot of other things. So yeah, it's not bad. It's good. And I also teach in BMS College of Architecture, so that also helps.
So, how did you get into illustration?
I have always been super interested in illustration. Even as I was a kid, I was super obsessed with all kinds of illustration, especially children's book illustration. So I have some books with me which sort of inspired me to get into illustration. Can I show that now?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah. So I collect a lot of children's books. Over the years, I've collected a lot of them. But
Your voice, Parinita, can you just come a little closer?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
1 second. Yeah. Okay. So this is one of the books. It's a Russian illustrated book, and this pretty much started my obsession with illustration. I'll show you some of the works in it. It's really old, and
What is the name of the book?
it's Russian folk tales. I can't pronounce the Russian word.
Yeah.
Alyonyushka, it's called, and it's illustrated by Igor Yershov. So I'll show you some of the illustrations in it, so it will make it a little better. Uh, yeah. So extremely detailed illustrations in this,
Is,
and yeah. So this got me sort of into the zone of illustration, and I started collecting a lot of books which were illustrated, and yeah, so that sort of spun the whole thing.
so, as an artist, if I'm just an artist and I want to get into illustration, can
Yeah,
you explain us what is illustration and what are the basic methods or maybe different types of illustration or how do I get into illustration?
sure. So basically, the main difference between art and illustration is that illustration is for a purpose. It's not just emoting what you feel, which is what happens in art. So in illustration, what happens is it has to say something or it has to illustrate something, as in there is a text involved or there is a thought or an idea involved. So that is the main thing that I think people get confused with. But yeah, so how to get into illustration? I think the best way is to first figure out what you like to do, as in what really interests you. Maybe it's politics, maybe it's nature, maybe it's children, maybe it's just any story. It could be anything. So to figure out that is, I think, the most important thing, which I think is a step that is lost in when you study art. That is not something that they tell you to do. So it sort of gets lost in it. And to first figure out who you are, I think is a very good place to start. So
So,
for me,
uh,
I really love children's literature. So that is something that completely captured my attention. I also love watercolors and brands that use watercolor illustrations. So that is something that I really love to do.
what
So
are
to
the
get,
different mediums you can use for illustrations?
yeah, so the main thing in illustration is first to understand that it has a lot of genres. And then the next bifurcation is medium. So the genres are children's book, editorial, comic, graphic novels, etc. When it comes to mediums, the first differentiation is the traditional and digital. So in traditional, we have a lot of varieties. There is woodcut, there is etching, there is pencil, charcoal, watercolor, pastel, wash, acrylic, so many varieties, and even collage, paper cut nowadays. Yeah, and in digital now there is Procreate, which is my favorite, and there's Adobe Illustrator, which a lot of people use, or Photoshop. So these are the main
So,
mediums.
is the traditional illustrations still people are still using the traditional methods of illustration?
Yes, yes, but definitely they are. The thing is, it depends on the kind of one is on the client and on the number of works you're expected to do.
Okay.
So that is where it will sort of come
The
down to.
time
And
being the biggest constraint, maybe.
yeah, time, and if let's say you're doing storyboard art and you're expected to do like thousands of storyboards for one animation short, for even a short there are like hundreds that are expected. So if you start go about doing that in the traditional way, it becomes very costly and very time consuming process. So but for children's book, let's say if we take children's book, there are people who still do traditional mediums like watercolor or pencil and other things, which is still very popular and very looked after. I mean, people are wanting it a lot, but it's a longer process.
Can you show us some of your work of illustration? The
Yeah,
watercolors one, at least.
yeah. So I'll just show you my book first because my
Yeah.
watercolor works are actually elsewhere, and in this quarantine, I've not been able to get it.
Oh yes, this is the book
This
that you
is
have
my book.
published and written also. So, are
Yeah,
you
it's
into
an
writing
illustrated.
or something like that?
Huh? I'm
Are
sorry.
you into writing also?
Yeah, actually, I started with writing.
Oh,
So
so you're a
I,
photographer and a writer and an artist, an illustrator. I think it's multiple things that you're doing.
yeah, I think most artists will agree that is the life of our, that's the way our lives work, I guess. But I studied art history, so writing is where I started off with. So these are some of my watercolors that
The
I've done.
character, Ajit
Yeah,
and
they're
Mini.
all done in watercolor,
Oh wow.
scanned and then cleaned on Photoshop and then taken to so another software to put it up in a book. So yeah,
How did this, the publishing the book, or how did it come? What is the idea behind it, and what inspired you to do this?
like I said, no, I was super obsessed with children's books. So I always wanted to write one since I was a child, and I guess in 2018 I felt okay. I guess it's time to do something of my own, and also for all artists, sort of passive income is something that we are always hoping to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So writing a book, then I realized is not much of a passive income over a period of time. Not that passive at all. Unless you're going for an e-book and if you're printing it yourself, it's not passive.
Lots of work
That's
in that.
yeah.
A full time work.
Yeah, it was super time consuming. It took
How was
over
the
my
response?
entire life.
How did you get the response for this book?
I'm sorry.
How was the response for this book?
It's been really good actually, but I've not gone really big like on Amazon and stuff because I wanted to keep it very personal. The first book and the first 1 year, I wanted to do it very. I wanted personal touch to it, so I wanted people to write their real reviews, tell me honest opinion on what they think about it from everything. Like my writing, my illustration, what did they like or what did they not like, and especially when we're talking about children now, it's a very difficult to assume what children will like anymore.
Right, right. The
It's very
children
hard.
have
Things are
children
changing
who
really
these
fast, and
the
and they
kids
are
and the
exposed
children.
to a lot
We
of.
don't I think read stories nowadays to children also. I think the
Exactly. That
whole
is
thing
one
is
more
gone.
reason. The main reason I wrote the book, other than the fact that I love illustration and illustrating, is that there was a huge dearth for indie indie content, especially for children's books. We are all the people I knew were picking up books which were based in another country,
Yeah,
uh, and the stories were all about places that they didn't know or didn't understand or relate to, and our heritage or our thing,
with
our
the grandmothers and
yeah,
grandfathers we have been brought up during the vacations, and that stories are
exactly.
very relatable and very close to
And this
us.
is, I called it Ajji and Millie because my grandmother literally is my source of inspiration for storytelling in itself. She always, as a, like if I was playing, she used to sit behind me and she used to just keep telling stories. Not like she didn't want me to sit and listen to her or anything. It was just happening at the background. So that's how I know the whole of Mahabharata, the whole of Ramayana. I know all the stories and lot of Panchatantra and everything. So it's sort of I understood how important it is word of mouth and how saying a story is very
Very
important.
important, yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of associative memory and things. So this book I also wanted to use Kannada words. I actually wanted a Kannada version of this also. So there is a my play from where I belong, I wanted something from there. So it's based in Shimoga and basically Karnataka, the forests of Karnataka, and I also introduce a lot of animals in it.
Yeah,
Another thing is when we are reading books from another country, we are learning about their animals
their
and
culture, their
temperatures.
culture, their temple.
Because I thought snow, when I was a kid, when I saw illustrated books of snow, I thought snow is this beautiful, awesome thing. When when I first saw snow, there was nothing beautiful about it. It was really, really cold, and Spiti is not a forgiving place.
So you are
Yeah.
also an urban sketcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you just tell us about urban sketching? What is exactly, how is urban sketching and illustration related, and what is all urban sketching about?
Okay, so this urban sketching has now taken over. I mean, a lot,
Yeah.
and the basic idea is to not to worry about concept or anything else, and just draw what you see every day or as often as you can. Just draw it, and to paint it with watercolor or different mediums people use. I use watercolor, and the main thing is that we live an extremely stressful life right now. All of us. We're either rushing to another place or some meeting or this or that, and too much is happening, or we're always on our phones. So, this is a great way to sort of get out of all that and just relax, calm down, and draw. So, I'll show you some of the works.
Yeah.
So whenever I travel with the sketchbook.
Okay.
This
That
is
is lovely.
from Vietnam, from Hanoi. So I have better memories of the place than if I were to, let's say, take a photograph, which everybody does. But then after a year or so, when someone
You
asks you
forget.
what happened there, you forget it. You
Yeah.
don't know what. what you saw or what you heard, because we are always in up in our head and sort of clicking away. So that doesn't work. So this I'll remember. I spoke to a young girl that day. I remember what she told me, and I remember the place, the weather, everything. So yeah, this is what urban
What are the
sketching.
points we need to keep in mind as an urban sketcher if you want to go and paint or sketch on live locations?
So the main thing for me, I think, I also learned with sort of trial and error. It's very important to get a hardbound book. First thing, this is a moleskin, and I really love this. There are other people who love other companies, but it's worth it to sort of pay and get that pay a little extra and get that good book, because this doesn't see. I've gone through trains, flights, rain, it's gone through everything, but it's not bending or anything. So materials in that way is very important. Also, I'll show you. So you get watercolor in really small boxes like this.
Compact
That
watercolor.
this is so they come in half pans like this. So you can just change the colors as you according to the place you're going to. If you're doing landscape, you might need other colors. If you're doing people, you might need other colors. So you can just remove those half pans and then create your own palette before you go to the trip or the place wherever you have to go. So that is one thing. And you get travel brushes and water brushes, but I don't use them. I tried them, I didn't like it. So I use this is an Escoda brush. I really like this. Sable, it's a synthetic sable brush. So these three things, and also, yeah, my method is basically first I go in with a technical pen,
Okay.
and I draw it out. I used to do it with a pencil first, and then I used to do it in pen, and then I used to use watercolor on it. But now I just go in with pen directly, and
With
it's
the
more
practice, I
fun.
think that comes
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
you can
It
become
takes a
confident
while.
using a pen.
Yeah. A lot of people get really worried, and when I do workshops, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm really worried," and all that. And then I tell them that it's just paper. At the end of the day, you're not losing much. It's
Too much
okay to
of
mess
pressure is
up.
there.
It's okay. Yeah, it doesn't come out great. It's okay. Just flip it and just go ahead. I've done a lot of them which I've messed up, and I've left them half done and whatever. It's okay. So I don't have a perfect sketchbook. Some I've just, this in Bali I started, and the weather changed. So I had to leave. And the Kayakba one that I just showed you, it was pouring rain. So yeah, this one, it was pouring rain, so it's splattered all over the book. So it's okay. The point of urban sketching is not to be too worried about the perfect outcome. It's about being more easy with drawing itself, and that is the most important thing that you will probably need as an illustrator, because you can become too stiff or get too much in your head and not be able to convey what you're trying to say because of fear mainly, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
So this need for perfection, I all artists will have it. Everyone I know, at least, and myself included, we hate our work after a while. We do it and then like, oh no, it's not good, it's not good, it's not good. So urban sketching sort of gets you grounded that way. So you're just doing it for just the love of drawing. So that's the most important thing, to be able to just draw.
So, how is urban sketching and illustration related? How do you relate them, and how do you mix them actually?
Okay, so with illustration, basically what will happen is the client will come and tell you a scenario they need, or whatever. You'll have to tell a story, or it's a product or anything. It could be anything, and then you'll have to just get that right. And to get that right, you'll need to be able to translate what is happening in your head onto the paper. That is what is art about too. But in illustration, it's about being more precise. So if it's a manual or something, you'll have to be perfect. You'll have to just get it right. So drawing is the most important thing. That a lot of people think that just because they want to do digital illustration, there's no drawing involved. That's not true. Unless you're doing vectors, it's not true. You'll have to draw. So once you understand the basics of
The
drawing,
scribbling part should be there.
line, I'm sorry.
The scribbling part should be there.
Yeah, you
First, you
have
need
to
to
be able to
scribble and
understand
understand
lines.
what you wanted, and then you can go ahead with the illustration.
Yes, and understanding foreground, background, shadows, color combinations, what combinations work. Lot of people have asked me. A lot of people have asked me, how do you choose your colors? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a method for that. I actually wanted to show you this. This is a swatch test I've done with the paints that I buy. I always do this. So I also sort of stick the name of the paint, the half pan that I'm using. So I know which color this is.
Yeah, the light
So
shades and dark shades, you get an idea what to do.
exactly. So I do this, and then I'll have lot of papers where I sort of mix those colors. And but the question I get asked more is, how do you choose a particular color? How do you know this color will go with something or something like that? And honestly speaking, I don't know. It's an instinctive thing. So, and I think the instinct builds when you sketch. So you see in nature what happens. You see in a place something you find interesting or beautiful. Why is it? So you start thinking, why did you try to find that particular spot? There are so many places that you could have drawn, but you drew that. Why? Maybe you saw bougainvillea, or you saw a particular window, or whatever. So these things are happening inside your mind, and that helps you with the process.
So currently now, since it's a lockdown and we all are at homes,
Yeah,
uh, how do you practice that illustration, or where do you get the inspiration from, or what
I'm
would
pretty much drawing through the day right now. I'm drawing through the day. I don't have time at all. I'm doing something or the other. I have a lot of work right now, but when there's not enough work, I just sit in my balcony and sketch. So yeah, actually, urban sketchers, there are prompts that they're giving. Anyone interested in urban sketching, please go and check out their website and their Instagram page and everything, because they give out prompts, what you can do. Maybe it's what you're going to eat today, so sketch that before you eat it,
yeah,
or the stairs, or your balcony, or your plant corner. So there are these prompts that they give you, so it keeps you sort of engaged with that.
engage, yeah, and you don't
Yeah,
need, you get ideas what to draw on.
yeah. And actually, with illustration also, I wanted to tell that if someone is starting out with illustration, it's very important to find proper inspiration.
Yeah,
So they can go through a lot of, now because of social media, we have a lot of access to a lot of people. So and also to join all these challenges that they put up, especially for illustrators. Like there's that 36 days of font challenge, or draw this in your style challenge, or now I'm joining one which is called Bon Voyage week challenge. So
travel
which
places.
yeah, so what happens is, sort of, it gives, if in case you're sort of blocked at some point, you don't know what to do or where to head, that these prompts can sort of give you a sort of a way to go ahead.
Okay. So what are the projects that you're currently working on?
I'm actually working on one children's book, for yoga for children's book project.
Oh, wow.
That is yeah, technical and detailed in a way. That's really nice. It's teaching me a lot, and lot of branding projects are happening. Other than that, branding projects are happening, and some games for children kind of things are happening. And my personal project is happening. I am coming up with some more books.
Books again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was actually wanting to do something. One is I'm working on the second version of this book, and probably will go on an ebook version this time. Another thing is travel related. I'm doing something. So let's see how it.
Yeah. So, what would you like to say, if there are the young artists and illustrators, or probably they are entering into this field? what would be your guide, or what would be your method which you could tell them or advise them that they can start on or work on, or how to?
Yeah, the main thing I think which I would tell students right now, and I wish I had done, is just after college, take a month off. Take a month off, try out everything that you've been doing this till now. As in, they would have learned different mediums. They would have learned so many different things, and because with art there is no prescription, there is no
Rule
specific,
book.
yeah, there is nothing to, to go and check and say, okay, this is the way to go. So what happens is, we get really confused and we go into multiple ways, and my route has been that way. So yeah, I love photography too, so I don't regret that, but I wish I'd gotten into illustration a lot earlier. And that didn't happen because I didn't even know what was happening with the field of illustration, and it was very hard when we started off because internet was not this big.
Yeah,
Now it's
internet.
very easy.
How did you start when there was no internet? What was your way of starting in, or getting into illustration?
Yeah, that's why I didn't get into illustration back then. I got into illustration like in
After this?
2014.
Okay, so that time the internet had just started.
Yeah. So Instagram was happening. There was a lot of YouTube videos to learn from. So many things to understand things from. When I was doing art, we didn't know. I mean, we didn't know whom to approach or whom to talk to about this, because when it comes to art, we knew a lot of galleries, we
Yeah.
knew writers, we knew musicians and art directors, but we didn't know what whom to go for, like, let's say, illustration.
Illustration.
So now it has become a lot easier. And going back to that point of what students should do, I feel take a month off and just try everything that you have learned. One is try out different mediums and different subjects. Do you like comics, or do you like politics, or do you like pretty flowers also? Pick one thing, whatever it is, or characters, you like to make funny characters or travel. Pick one thing and really get better at that one thing. I think that is the thing that I would say is the most important.
So there is this thing called as doodling, which is again a
Yeah,
rough sketch. Okay,
yeah.
something. So how do you differentiate, and what? How do you differentiate between of illustration sketch and a doodling? Again, both are
See,
very rough sketches, and very easy forms of doodling is a very kind of easy, and when you're just sitting and you're doodling something, and you don't need to
yeah.
be perfect with this thing. So how do you differentiate with the illustration sketch?
For an illustration sketch, you are so you will be, one is there is no time. So your client will want it like in a week or 3 days, 2 days, sometimes overnight, and you don't have time to sort of just randomly put down lot of things and all that. You'll have a sort of rhythm built, and that sketch will be for that artwork.
Okay.
So you get that, like, you'll know, you'll know whether you're going to go in with for me, I'll know whether I'm going to do it digitally, or I'll be doing it on watercolors, with watercolors. So what paper, everything matters. So doodling is more of, you're not thinking exactly what is the end product, you're just doing it.
Just doing it, yeah.
Yeah, like I spoke about urban sketching, you're not doing it to make it into something else. With illustration, the sketching you have to do is to make it into something else. And it has to be precise. Otherwise, you're another that's another tip, I think. If your drawing is not correct, you're going to waste a lot of time coloring it, basically. So that is something that a lot of people do and mess up and mess up and mess up, and time just keeps going. And the drawing has to be perfect if you want the
So
illustration
even if you want to become a good illustrator, your sketching and drawing should be thorough.
perfect.
Yeah. So does a
Unless,
first?
see, there are some styles which don't require drawing at all. Like some people just use inks and just do it like very free flowing sort of a thing. Even that is an illustration, but might not require a very precise drawing. but that's a style you choose. So you're very sure
So
about
again,
that
you
style.
again you are consciously doing it. So you should be
Yeah,
well versed with the drawing and sketching part.
exactly. So if you do it very unknowingly, that is fine. But after a while, you have to be conscious of the style you're choosing to do. So let me actually show you a few styles. So it'll help for this particular example. I have a very old book again. Something like this. If you were going for something like this is like a very free flowing ink illustration or a drawing. These don't need to be precise,
Okay.
but it's a choice you make. And I am very that precise kind. I can't do anything very free flowing like that. I need a very clear demarcation. I need clear cut. So this is an example of a very detailed and precise thing. So yeah,
Again, you can refer to these storybooks for,
yeah.
say,
Or
suppose if you're a
artist,
newcomer or something where you need to practice.
yeah, you have. And also I think to go through a lot of artists is a very important thing. So this is Toulouse Lautrec. I just got this book. This is another very useful thing. He was one of my biggest inspirations when I was in art school.
What is
uh,
the name of the artist?
Toulouse Lautrec. I can just Lautrec. So if you just type that, you'll get. So he did a lot of uh,
Hmm.
poster like illustrations,
Are there
and
different
I have
names for these type
another
of
artist that I
illustrations?
really like, but I don't have a sample of his work here right now. His name is Alphonse Muka. He was also very big on illustrations. So having a very oh, I have some other things to show. So yeah, to know the style, to go through, I think it's very important to have a lot of artists that you like and follow, not just digitally, in every other way. So you know what you like and what you don't like. So if you form that opinion a little earlier in your career, it's better.
Are there any different names of these different types of specific types of illustration?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Are there any different? Do you categorize these illustration into different names, or it's just the different
Yeah,
genres and different mediums that we
there
use?
are, there are like basically you can categorize it either through genre or you categorize with mediums they use. So if you're doing it through genre, you're going for, let's say, you're interested in comics, you have to figure out the best comic artists. If you're interested in like editorial, you'll have to figure out the people who do more editorial work. So that is the way you differentiate, or you differentiate with mediums they use. So if they're doing like watercolor or pastel or that, then you have to follow people who do that. But then I think you have to follow a lot of artists to get a general idea and see a lot of works basically as much as possible. That is one thing I learned in my college. See a lot of artworks.
Yeah, the inspiration. You need to get inspired and look at different
Yeah,
works and all.
because
So
art doesn't come from nowhere. It has to come from somewhere, and it
yeah,
has to you have to consume it for that to come out.
right. So Parinata, there is a question on Facebook that where do you start your digital illustration journey from?
Okay,
Some tool where you would recommend for a beginner.
I would definitely, without doubt, say Procreate.
Procreate.
Procreate is the software that you use on iPad Pro. It's a bit of a investment, but I think it's really worth it. First thing is you can carry your iPad wherever you go. So you can sketch on it, you can watch movies on it, you can listen to music on it, and draw. So you can do all of that in one go, and I think it's the best thing to do. That is the place to start, according to me. So, and you'll also be doing it just like you do it on paper.
On a
It's
paper.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You will get all kinds of brushes on it. So you'll get the textures, you'll get the texture of pencil or watercolor or pastel, everything is there. So you can download brushes, you can do whatever, and keep. And also, you're not wasting money. When you're
Yeah.
doing it on digitally, you're just you can try everything, try different styles. That is where I think even I'm stuck at right now. I'm trying to sort of develop a new style now.
So, if you learn fine art, after that you can join. You have to do illustration on your own, or do we need to go to a proper school or something, or an institute to learn this, or we can directly jump into Procreate, as you said?
Um, there will be argument for both sides. I think I learned illustration on my own.
Okay,
I learned art, but I learned illustration on my own. So both.
you
It's
can
up
do
to
that.
you. It's up to
Yeah.
you because sorry, if you feel one good thing about going to if you but you have to go to a good school for that,
Okay.
because in
So,
India there are courses now, a lot of courses for illustrators, but I don't know if it is really good.
okay. So someone has asked, everyone won't be able to afford an iPad or something. Is there any other option that we can use?
So the better, okay, yeah, I understand that completely, and I sympathize because yeah, I completely
Yeah,
understand it.
because everyone won't be able to afford that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
what would be
agree.
another best
So
option?
then do it on your sketchbook first. First, go the traditional route. Do it on your sketchbook. Do it on watercolor paper or good paper like 300 GSM papers or 200 GSM papers, good papers. Try that, scan that, and work on Photoshop. Or one more thing you can do is Wacom. It's called Wacom, WACOM. So you get vacuum tablets, not tablets. These are Intuos. It's called. That is a cheaper version, but you can draw on it and see the screen of the computer and draw on it.
Okay.
So that is the cheapest option for digital illustration, or you can go for Adobe Illustrator on your computer.
On a computer. Okay. And the
For
results would be,
Photoshop.
yeah, and the results would be the same that we do on a
Yeah.
Photoshop.
People do amazing work on Photoshop and Illustrator. There is no doubt about it. Only the fact, my personal preference is Procreate because it feels like you're actually sort of sketching or drawing.
Okay. So,
And the thing to remember is Adobe Illustrator, what you're doing is like vector art. That's a different style.
yeah, different.
It's
That is what I was going to come to. That
uh,
if you do it on paper or with your hand, and you do it with a digital this thing. So again, there is a difference between the work. And do
yeah.
these agencies, recommend, or they tell you that they want a hand-drawn illustration, or they want it on a digital work or something like that?
Yeah. This is a big conundrum, and I'm still facing this problem actually
Yeah.
because my style when it comes to watercolor is different. My sketching style is different, and my digital style is different. So I get clients who want my illustration or my sketching style digitally, and vice versa happens, keeps happening. And now there are artists who are very lucky, I think, who have one style throughout.
So can
So
you choose that I will be doing? Can you tell your clients that I am used to this medium only, and I'm not doing the digital medium, or I'm doing digital only, I'm not doing the handwork?
no, I don't tell them that. What I tell is depending on the one client to on the job required. As in, if let's say it's a book or something, there are so many illustrations to do. It's very hard to go the traditional route. So the
Yeah.
cost factor goes much higher, and paper, meat, there's a lot of materials itself required. So, or one more work I had done where they were sort of doing a animation thing, and they wanted my watercolors to do their animation sort of tutorial sort of a
The
thing,
work should look like a watercolor.
and they wanted my watercolors, so I had to do it in watercolors. Really crazy. I had sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets of paper, and scanning everything and sending it to them, and then one will be missing, and then you have to do all that again, and it's crazy.
So, like everyone knows that artists are always struggling for, for earning their living or making this thing. So, as an illustrator, how do you feel is the industry or is the market, if someone wants to, look for a career in as an illustration?
Okay. Here I have two ways of looking at it. One is I have this positive thing which I believe in, where I feel you will get through. I mean, you will just get work when you're down. It happens. Work will come someday. Sometimes there is no work. All that happens. But having discipline and having a sort of clear path helps. So figure out something else that can help you financially. So maybe it is teaching or workshops or Skillshare, which is an online teaching thing, or there's so many like that, or write or a book or something else that will sort of keep giving you some sort of revenue, whether you're getting work or not. Having that is very important. So have two, three multiple ways of making money.
Okay. And
And the industry, I would say, what I don't like in the industry is when people ask you why you charge so much,
yeah,
or
that
why
is
does this cost so much, or you used to charge so much, why do you charge so much now? And
or
then
we
the
have
answer
some other
is
people
because
who are
everything
charging less
else.
and why you're charging more.
Yeah, so is the petrol rate the same, or rent is not the same, nothing is the same now. So how can I be charging the same?
Right. So, one more last question, probably I would say is, say you reach out to clients or you reach out to brands or something. Apart from your publishing your work or showing your work through social media, are there any other methods that these artists, the new artists, can approach to these clients, or how do they reach out and show their work? I mean,
Actually,
publishing on your social media is one thing that you just keep on showing your work and all that. But other
yeah.
than that,
Huh. So my thing is, actually I don't reach out to people at all. I get it
yeah,
through someone or the other, through networking. So I know people, they'll know someone, or it is Behance. Behance is really good for that.
okay,
Behance is amazing for that. So put your works up on Behance, you get work from Behance. There is something called Fiverr too, but I'm not very fond of that Fiverr because it's very, they
what is
expect
it?
very cheap work. It's
What is
called
it?
Fiverr.
Fever.
Fiverr.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is very decent.
Yeah, that is they expect really cheap work. I mean,
Yeah,
most people do. So that I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're looking for some extra work or something, that might be good. But Behance is really good, or has been good to me.
okay,
So
okay. So I
social media, and the thing is, making real connections helps.
okay. So you
Actually.
tell the people around you that you are doing this work. You need to keep
And
showing your
also
work.
you have to go to, maybe there is a Soul Sante or a art fest or a music fest or something. Go to these things, make friends, make connections, talk to people, have your card with you, or and which has your website or some proper links on it. Give it, share
You can
it.
keep on sharing your work.
Yeah. And also do collaborations if you can. Basically, then your network just starts, just
And then you keep.
happens. Yeah, that's how it worked for me. I haven't approached people. I just, someone will know someone and they'll know someone who will want the work done, and it just
Right.
happens.
One last question. We'll wrap this session.
Yeah.
Your advice to the young artists and upcoming illustrators.
Anything I have to tell, is it?
Yeah, some advice that you would like to tell, that some maybe a guidance or something,
Like
something
I
to
said,
work upon.
take my best advice would be, take a month off, and when you just finish college, and sort of figure out right then, because once you start getting work, it's very hard for you to tell, no, no, I don't want to do that style, or I don't want to do this medium. It's really hard because you're in the system then. So before you get into the system, try. But of course, whatever stage you
Practice,
are, try to
explore
get
all
it.
the skills, whatever is
Huh?
possible. Practice and
and then
explore.
figure out things, read books, watch movies, listen to music, do all things. Don't just be like, okay, this is it, I'll just read
Sketch,
one book
sketch, sketch.
on how to, yeah. There is no one book which will say, okay, this is how you should illustrate. There's nothing like that. So you have to go through everything, see posters, get draw inspiration from everything, every single thing, animated movies, stories, whatever. And then you will have a opinion or a style or your voice. That is the most important thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise you're just lost in the whole sort of din of everything. You have no
Right.
personality or any specific thing that
Yeah.
people look
The
for in.
basic, I like this line that you get your own voice.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful line.
Hmm. So
Completely.
that is really important, and keep sketching and draw inspiration from literally everything around you, and keep going. And then getting work also, it's not as easy as people think, nor is it as difficult as people think. It's a sort of weird thing, but do the thing that you really love, and you will get someone to
Appreciate
want.
you and maybe recognize you.
Yeah, and that is a big thing that I wish someone had told me earlier, is just do what you really love and do it really well. You will get clients. It'll come. It'll just come. But of course, you have to present it. You have to either do a show or do it online or have a website, talk about it. But you will have to show it. But people will come by themselves. It just happens. It just starts rolling.
Right. So I think we'll end the session here. Thank
Sure.
you so much,
Thank
Parijita.
you.